I, 29, told my husband, 38, that I would not be spending any time with him and his family for Mother's Day this year. I, 29, told my husband, 38, that I would not be spending any time with him and his family for Mother's Day this year. So in November 2023, I found out that I was pregnant. Unfortunately, December 2023, the week away from Christmas, I had lost our baby. I had gone to the hospital because I had started to bleed and they were doing some tests and ultrasounds, and that was the first time I heard my baby's heart. Later, when tests came back and everything, we found out that the baby's heart was failing, and that's why my body miscarried. Ever since the miscarriage, I really haven't been the same. I've been talking to my therapist, but nothing really seems to help the emptiness and helps the heartache the night feel inside. My husband knows that I've been having a hard time with this. I've gone back to my old ways of cutting, which I did tell my therapist about, and I agreed to talk about medication. Possibly I've been using different coping mechanisms like the rubber band trick or journaling. The second week in January, I had talked to my husband about maybe taking a trip for our birthday month. He's born May 5, and I'm born May 21, so there's a week in between our birthdays. I thought maybe he and I could go away and take our mind off of everything that's been happening here. He agreed to think about it. Just yesterday, he had mentioned it to me and told me that he wants to know where we would go and to brainstorm some ideas and maybe we can start planning. I got excited. I love to travel, and this morning I was looking up different places. I have 5 or 6 different tabs open on my computer. When he came home from work, we spoke, and I told him that I did some research he was happy and willing to see. But when he saw the dates that I was looking at, he stopped in his tracks and looked at me and said, "We can't go away that week, May 10th, May 14th. I asked him why not, and he had brought up that the Sunday in between those days is Mother's Day. And do I really want to spend Mother's Day away? Honestly, I didn't even think about Mother's Day, seeing as I'm not one and everything that has to do with babies, and expecting others triggers me really easily right now. I told him that I wasn't going to be spending Mother's Day with my mom, either, for a plethora of reasons. My mom and I aren't that close. She left me when I was 17, and I had to take care of my 2 younger sisters, go to high school, make dinners and lunches. It was a rough time in my life, and she's just recently came back into my life, asking for another chance. We're not exactly close, I'm respectful, but I am wary about her. As for his mother, she is a nice enough lady when she wants to be, and I understand that she's from a different generation, so when she says things that sound backwards. As for his mother, she's a nice enough lady when she wants to be, and I understand that she's from a different generation, so sometimes when she says things that sound backwards, I just kind of give her a pass. I told him that I really don't want to be spending Mother's Day at all with anyone. I've been a dog mom for as long as I can remember with my dog, and unfortunately, Mill doesn't quite see me as a real mom, even though I do feel like I am, but that's a point for another day. I told him don't worry about it. It's fine, we don't have to go on the trip. He gave 2 suggestions that wouldn't work. The first suggestion is that we go from the Monday after Mother's Day weekend until Thursday of that following week, which wouldn't work because, quite frankly, I've never missed spending a birthday with my nephew or my niece. They mean the world to me, and especially now, through this time, they've meant even more to me than I can ever explain. I told him that I wouldn't want to miss my birthday without my nephew and my niece. Then he offered, why don't we go in June? I don't want to go in June. The places that we're looking at in June will be too hot to enjoy, and I'd rather do it in the spring where it's not all the way hot yet, but it's not so cold that we won't enjoy it either. Plus, June is our anniversary month, and we had already agreed that we were going to Atlantic City for our end. I told him to forget the whole thing, and that I no longer want to go. I also told him that I will not be going to see his mother on Mother's Day, even though it's months away. I can guarantee that. He looked at me, rolled his eyes, turned over and fell asleep on the couch while I went into the kitchen to clean some dishes. Am I the asshole for this? I can't help but feel the way I am feeling, and on top of everything, I just don't want to be around people who are either going to ignore the fact that I was a mother even for a short time and still am one to my dog. I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm looking for genuine advice, please. Follow or subscribe.